Um, in in general, I support safe injection sites because of their approach to harm reduction. I think, I mean, the opioid crisis and the is such a huge problem in Vancouver right now, and I I feel like that's at least a safe space for people to use if that's what they need to do, and to have a safe space around them in the event that they're using drugs that aren't safe.
What's your name?
Victor,
Okay, Victor. What country are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil. And are there homeless people in Brazil?
Depends on the city, but the cities I live, a lot of homeless people living there. I think more than Vancouver.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because you see a lot of people like sitting on the streets asking for money, and these people don't have an house, like they are homeless.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I think two per the street you pass, there's a lot of homeless people. Yeah.
Do you think homelessness is a big issue in Vancouver?
Yeah, I think so that it's a big issue here in Vancouver because as I visited here for my vacation, today itself I've seen many people like they were on roadside. So I really feel bad about it. Like
Yeah.
I've never expected here in Vancouver. So, but it was there. So it's a big issue. I think so.
Yeah.
It should not be
Yeah. And where did you come visit from?
from Toronto.
Toronto. Is there any poverty, like homelessness
I
there?
haven't seen yet.
Haven't
I haven't
anything?
seen like this in downtown. There are some people, but not much like Vancouver.
Why do you think there's a lot of poverty in Vancouver in this specific area?
I just visited today in Vancouver. So here I've seen many people lying on the roadside, like they were just begging for some money. So that's why I thought that there's something bad about it.
Yeah, there's something
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on safe injection sites?
I would think that they're probably the best thing that we've ever invented. Not like the word like magicians or anything like that, but just having a thing that people understand that we need to have a lot more focus on mental health. The safe injection is like the beginning of it. That makes it so people don't get ill, like Hep C,
Yeah.
HIV, and so our goal is to not have that happen. But the long-term part of it is to have maybe a bit more mental health care happening.
And you said, where did you work again?
I work at Crosstown Clinic. I also work at St. Paul's.
So what do you do there?
I'm a nurse.
Nurse?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you think, do you have an idea of one thing that could change to be reducing homeless in Vancouver?
That's probably the biggest problem ever that we have is if you can actually get some care for sorry, that's not the right way to put it. If we could just have some housing to get people housed,
Yeah.
then we can have a stable situation for them, and then we can actually put in a bit of healthcare into that situation. After that, the doctors have to step up a bit.
Yeah.
I like it because they're all kind of one question.
Yeah.
I would say the question is why isn't poverty a priority in
Yes.
terms
yes.
of what? Funding, actual facilities, actual action, what?
Funding.
Okay, so this is what I do,
Yeah.
so it's hard for me to answer, but okay. Housing, number
Yeah.
one priority for me. So imagine a business, right? How do they get by? They make the cheapest thing for like the most effectiveness. But are they really doing that anymore? I think that just kind of stopped. They're like, let's make these things, okay? People can live in them, okay? But you have to pay your entire salary for about 30 years of your life, okay? Or more. Maybe like 40 years of your life, okay?
Yeah.
And then you can live in it. You can live in it for okay, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
cool. No, how about like a $3,000 camper that you can live in and raise a child in and
Yeah.
not have to pay again?
Yeah.
So housing is my answer. It's about like providing shelters.
For
It doesn't
people.
have to be a fucking rented apartment that costs $600. It could be a tent. Like this, they can take this down and put it up in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And
It just keeps them dry and warm. So yeah, does that answer your question?
that's perfect.
yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you so
yeah.
much.
Cool.
You think could be changed to reduce homelessness in Vancouver?
A difference of opinion on mental health and drug addiction. Treating
Yeah.
them one and the same might help, but really, we live in a country with one major city that doesn't freeze over winter. That's why Vancouver has a homeless problem. We also don't take care of our mentally ill.
Yeah.
Most societies have kind of an idea that if someone in their family is mentally ill, that they take care of them.
Yeah.
Here, it seems like if someone can't be taken care of easily, then they're kind of left to fend for themselves. I see it every day living outside. More than half the people that live outside can't take care of themselves in the most basic way.
Yeah.
A solution for that, though, I really don't know. The city of Vancouver kind of makes it impossible to be homeless and get ahead.
Yeah.
We have certain laws that exist in this city that don't exist anywhere else in Canada. We also, kind of growing up in the Lower Mainland, you're taught not to give the homeless money, give them food because they'll spend it on drugs.
Yeah.
A major part of that is they're going to spend it on drugs regardless because they can't eat if they're sick.
Yeah.
Drugs kind of, once somebody starts taking a really strong drug, it kind of takes over for their natural chemicals. So heroin is dopamine. And so when you take it for a certain amount of time, you don't produce it yourself, which means if you don't have the drug to intake, you are living without dopamine.
Yeah.
And to understand what that's like, you can watch a video of a child that's born without dopamine.
Yeah.
And they're in extreme pain all the time. Dopamine allows you to, if you stub your toe, it hurts a little bit, but if you cut it off, it hurts way more. And so when the wind hurts and everything hurts, you don't care if you're given food because you can't do anything with it. It's also really expensive to be homeless.
Yeah.
Way more than I thought. Everything is cash. So your closet's cash, your fridge is cash, your bed is cash, everything. Because every day you wake up with a lot of things missing because there's such a homeless problem that everybody kind of takes from each other.
Oh yeah.
There's a major violence issue
Oh really?
because when you are considered to just be taking up space or a vagrant, you call the cops for help. They don't really show up. They don't really help. And so everything kind of becomes an extreme where if you had something stolen, you call the police and make a report, and if they find it, whatever. On the street, if something's stolen, you usually try and find out who that is and get your stuff back or hurt them.
Yeah.
Things that I've never experienced in my whole life until being outside are things like that. You also kind of end up a part of the system really quickly, where if you're downtown at 3 or 4 in the morning, the SkyTrain's not running, you live in Surrey, and you have to go to the washroom, you pee in an alley, and not a big deal.
Yeah.
If you're homeless and you're peeing in an alley, you could more likely end up in jail. Those little differences make everything a lot more extreme. And when that happens to somebody for a certain amount of time, they kind of become a part of it.
Yeah.
So asking for help is no longer an option. Kind of taking advantage of services that can help trust is not there that they're going to help or will follow through with anything, and so you don't even kind of take that first step. Those first steps are what differentiate people that are homeless for a couple days versus a couple of years.
Yeah.
So as soon as you give up, you give up on everything. And if you have mental health issues, by mental health issues I mean I know a few people that are completely incapable of caring for themselves. They wear diapers, they don't know what they're for. They may have a home, they don't know where it is.
Yeah.
And so they just wander the streets all the time. They become kind of crazier than you think, just to survive, just to keep people away. If you notice, there's a lot of homeless people that talk to themselves and kind of act crazy.
Yes.
Most of them aren't, but they have it as a defense mechanism, so they don't have to really talk or relate to anybody. Helping that is
Also, they're
somewhat
told by
impossible.